Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this Donald Duck. I designed him based off of some of DIY Mommy's hippo beak, and I also helped her with the Goofy, so she told me I should go ahead and do the tutorial on Donald. You will need about 54 yellow bands, 82 white bands, 10 black bands, 70 blue bands, and 4 red bands. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, the first part that we're going to be working on today would be the top of the mouth. You'll need some yellow bands in order to do that. You're going to start out at the top of your loom with one single band on the left, a single band in the middle, and a single band on the right. You're then going to switch to single double, so you're going to take a single and double it. You're going to go down twice on the left, single double, and then you're going to come into the center peg, single double. You're going to do the same thing on the right hand side. And then you're going to do that straight down the middle as well. So single, double. Go ahead and push your bands down so you have a little bit of room for your capping band. On the bottom, you're going to go ahead and do a 4 times, so 3 loops to create 4 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the top, you're going to go ahead and single, double for your crossover bands. The second one is just going to be a single, and then a single at the bottom. And this is what it should look like. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and start looping. You're going to go under the capping band, find the top yellow band, which mine is in the middle, so if you went the same way, it would also be in the middle. Straight up, back into the capping band, and be careful to only grab the band that you're trying to pull. And to the right, and then back in and to the left. And then you can go ahead and go straight up. Make sure when you're looping to not go on the outside of this band, you want to go on the inside. And be careful at the top, since these down here are all double bands, single double bands. The top one being a single band on its own sometimes will break, so you want to pull on that one gently. If you need to, you can always release the tension. Okay, and once you've looped it up, you can go ahead and remove it from the loom. We're actually going to be removing it from underneath. We're not going to be removing it from the top. So go ahead and release from the bottom. Try to make sure that the tops don't come loose. Take your holding hook and you're going to go from underneath to remove. Okay, and this is the top of the beak. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start with the bottom of the beak. You're going to start at the top of your loom with a single band on the left, single band on the right, Then you're going to switch to single double. You're going to come down one on the left and one on the right. Then you're going to go from the left with a single double to the center fourth peg and do the same thing on the right. And then you're going to come down one more single double on the left and another single double on the right. We're going to close it off, the single double from the left to the fifth center peg and a single double from the right to the center peg, and then one more single double in the center. Go ahead and push the bands down, and we're going to cap it off with a single band 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then your crossover band, you're going to do a single double from here to here, and then a single. Let's get a tighter band from there to there. And this is what it should look like. Now you're ready to go ahead and start looping. Go under the capping band. First one should be the center, and loop straight up. Go back under, going to the right, and then to the left. Go ahead and come up the side one. And then don't forget these, so we want to come back to the center. Bring that one to your right, this one to your left, and then you can go ahead and loop straight up. Remember, this is a single band. With these being double bands, this will be pretty tight, so be careful not to break the band. If you do, though, it is a pretty easy fix. And this would be the bottom of the mouth, so we can put it on our holding hook from the top. So go ahead and release from the bottom. And then put that also on your holding hook. If you don't have a holding hook, you can probably also just set it aside, since the rest of the bands are single double. They should stay in place. And that is the bottom of the beak. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and make Donald's legs and feet. You're going to be using yellow bands again. We're going to start at the top with a single. You're going to double it. We're coming straight down the middle. And you're going to come down 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're then going to come out and to your left with a single double, and you're going to come down twice, single double, another single double. Do the same thing on the other side. And then you're going to come 3 down the center with the double bands. So push down on this one a little bit. So 2 bands, 2 bands, and 2 bands. You're then going to cap off all 3 of these pegs, and you're going to cap them for 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing on the middle peg. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the last peg. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're then going to place 2 crossover bands. The bottom one is going to be a single. Actually, should have done this before we capped it, but you can go right under here. You don't have to have it, the cap band, removed. So you're going underneath, just place it on this peg, bring the whole band across the top of this peg, and then place this over here. And then on this one here, this one's a single double in the triangle. And those are your capping bands. This is what it should look like. Now you're ready to start looping. So you're just going to start on the left, go under the capping band, go through the holding band, or the crossover band, and bring up. All the way to there. Same thing here. Grab the bottom band, come straight up, and then straight up the middle as well. Go underneath all those bands, bottom bands. And this right here is very tight, so if you are not using a metal hook, I would be very careful. You could break your hook. All the way up to the top. Now we can take it off the loom, starting at the bottom. And there you have 1 foot. So go ahead and pause the video. You're going to need 2 of these total, and make another one. If you need to, you can rewind to make the second one. Okay, we are now going to work on Goofy's arm and hands. I have already made one of them. I will show you how to make one, and then you can pause the video and make a second one. We will not need the loom to make the arm because of these 2 yellow pieces. I'm not exactly sure how you would attach them that way, but it's very simple and easy to do. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. You're going to go ahead, take your hook and a white rubber band. You're going to loop it 3 times to create 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're then going to take another white rubber band, single double, and pull this rubber band onto that band, and then hook it back on. You can pull it to straighten it out a little, and then you're going to pull that onto another single double. This creates one of his fingers. You're going to do the same thing, leave this one on the hook, do 4 loops, so 1, 2, 3, 4, single double, pull this one on, and then pull it onto another single double, and do it one more time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, single double, and another single double. Now you have his fingers here on the hook. Grab another single white band, double it. You're going to pull all of these onto this one band. And then pull it back onto itself. And then you're going to do that again. So another white, single, double, and pull that onto itself. Now you're going to take a yellow rubber band and create 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take 2 blue rubber bands. You're going to pull the yellow rubber band onto the blue, and you're going to pull one part, so 2 of the bands, onto the blue as well. You're going to pull it tight and stick your finger through this rubber band like this so you can pull it off the hook. Switch your hook to the other side and pull the remainder of that hand through. And this is what you should end up with here. You're then going to add 2 bands, 2 blue bands. And repeat that again. 2 blue bands. 2 more. And then you're going to do the same thing you did down here. So take 1 yellow band, create 4 loops, take 2 more blue bands, pull the yellow on, and 2 of the bands from the arm, and then stick your finger in here to hold one side, switch it to the other, and pull the remainder of the arm through. And this creates Donald's arm. So go ahead and pause the video. If you need to rewind, you can to make your second hand, and I'll be back with you. We're now going to create the little bow for Donald. It's very easy to make, and I'll show you how to attach it when we do the loom. But what you're going to do is you want to take 2 red rubber bands, and you're going to use your loom for this. Go ahead and place them on the last peg. Then take a single rubber band, red, and you're just going to place it on this last peg. Grab underneath and pull the band through like this and hook it. Then go ahead and grab under here to the bottom rubber band and pull it over. And then just go ahead and take it off the loom, and you're going to pull on this, make that a little tight, and you'll see here you end up with this little tiny bow. And then you can go ahead and take this extra band and wrap it around like 2 times. You're not going to see the middle part once we loom it into Donald, so it really doesn't matter how pretty it is because it'll be hidden inside of the body part itself. But then you end up with this little bow, and you can just set that aside. Now we also need to make one more part before we can start on the body, or I'm sorry, actually we need to do the extensions as well, but we also need to do the tail that comes off of his hat. This you can either do on the loom or off the loom. I will go ahead and show you how to do it on the loom. If you are an experienced loomer, you will probably know how to do it off of the loom. So you're going to go ahead, and this is where you need your black. You're going to start at the top of the loom with a single double black, and you're going to come down 4 times total, so 3 more. That's 2, 3, and 4. You're then going to take a single black with your hook and create 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that onto a single double black. Do that again. So create 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Single double black. And pull them both onto a single double. And you're going to use this portion as the capping band for this here. Okay, and then go ahead and loop up, grab the bottom 2, and you can go ahead and pull it off onto your holding hook. And this creates the little tab that comes off of his hat right here. Okay, the last 2 pieces that we need to make before we can start on the body are the extension pieces for his hat and for the bottom portion of his body. We can do all of that at one time on the loom. So in order to do the hat, you're going to take 2 blue rubber bands, double rubber bands, and you're going to place 2 on the first peg, 2 on the second peg, and then you're going to do that again on this side. You're then going to cap that off to create 3 loops. So 1, 2, 3, and do that again on the other side. 1, 2, 3. And then for the body, you'll use white. You're going to take double rubber bands. That's 1, 2, and 1, 2. Same thing. Create 3 loops on the capping band. So 1, 2, 3, and on the other side, 1, 2, and 3. And you're ready to go ahead and loop that up. So go under the capping band and just bring them straight up. And then you can go ahead and remove them and set them aside to attach onto the body. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and start with the layout. I'll be using double bands unless I tell you otherwise. We're going to start on the very top peg. You're going to go to the second one down, 2 bands from the second middle peg to the top left peg, and 2 bands from the top right peg to the center second down left peg. And then we're going to come down 1, 1 in the middle, come down on the side, then going to come down with 2 bands on the left again, 2 bands on the right again, and then you're going to switch to the white bands. 2 white bands from the center third peg down to the third peg on the left, and 2 white bands this way as well. You can also now take the 2 extension pieces that we made for the hat. The top part is going to go on the very top peg put your hook through the capping band, and you're going to hook that to the second peg down. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. From there. To there. And then we're going to continue with the white bands, coming down, 2 on the left, two on the right, and then bringing it into the chin peg. And straight down the middle. Two bands, and then 2 bands. And then for the neck, I use 3 bands into the shoulder. So you're going to switch back to the blue. And you're going to go to the left and down 3. And then to the right, also down 3. Oh, that one's broken. And then you're going to come down the center for the first 2 peg, or the first peg. I'm going to use double bands because of the amount of bands we already have here. And then on these next 2 pegs, I'm going to use 3 bands. So you got 3. And we're switching back to white for 2. So over here on the left, you're going back to double bands. You're going to go down 2. Double bands on the right, down 2. And then closing it off with 2 bands here. And 2 bands here, and then filling in the center. So I'm going to use 3 white bands here, and 3 white bands here, and then 2 down here at the bottom. You're then going to take a yellow rubber band, single double, on these last pegs here, and single double yellow on the right, and this is what you should currently have. This is what it should look like. We can go ahead now and attach the arms. We're going to attach them right here, which is the 7th peg from the bottom on the shoulders. So just take the arm, one of the arms, and loop it onto here, and repeat on the other side. And there's your arms. You can also take the black tail that we created for the hat, that one is going to attach right here on the third peg from the top on the right hand side. You can go ahead and attach that there. The legs are going to go down at the very bottom as capping bands. And if you look at the legs when they come off, they do have a natural curve to which way they should be facing up. So just make sure when you place it on to the loom that they're placing up and they're not backwards. There's his legs. Now we're going to attach the bottom white extension pieces, and those will be actually upside down. So on this peg, the second peg from the bottom, you're going to attach the top part and then stick your hook through the capping band, and you're going to pull that all the way up here to the fourth peg from the bottom, and do the same thing on the other side. And now we need to create some eyes. So you're going to take a single black band, create 4 loops, and then on Donald did my eyes a little bit different to keep them from sinking into the head. I took a single white band, you're going to double it, pull that black band on, and then you're going to place it from in the middle peg, fourth down, the fourth peg down from the top and the middle, to the fourth peg down on the left. And do the same thing for the other side. So a single black, creating 4 loops. Take a white, single double, and then place it on the fourth peg down on the left, or on the right, I'm sorry, to the fourth peg down on the center. This also helps keep the bands from getting twisted or the eyes separating when you pull them all onto one band. We're now going to create some crossover bands to keep him all together. So starting at the top, you're going to do a single double, placing it around the eyes. You want another single double on the 5th peg down, creating a triangle. Onto the body with a blue band. At the top, you're going to create a single double. You're going to do that again for the next one. And then down here, we're placing single bands. So a single here, a single here, and a single here. Okay, so now we are ready to go ahead and start the looping process. Go in underneath the capping band at the bottom and bring your yellow up. Do the same thing on the other side. You're then going to bring the top 2 whites forward and then to the left and to the right, and then go underneath all these bands to the bottom 2 bands, pulling back, bring them forward, and we're going to go ahead and loop all the way up. Go in through all of the arm bands, grabbing the bottom 2, and bring them to the center. Do the same thing on the other side. and then we'll go straight up the middle. Then go down below all of the bands here, grabbing those bottom 3 white. Bring them forward. Then your first 2 should be going straight forward to here. Next 2. To the left, and the next 2 to the right, and you're going to stop here. Go ahead and push all of these bands down so we can attach his beak. And remember, we had those 2 on the holding hook. You have your top 2 and your bottom 2. For the top 2, they're going to go on this one, and this one. You should have 2 bands for each peg. So just take and secure here. Take the next 2 onto the middle. And the next 2 onto the left. And that's your top beak. Your bottom beak only has 2 sets of bands. One's going to go here on the right, one on the left, but you do want to pull it below the chin peg. So we put this one on first for these 2. Pull it underneath the peg and then attach the other side. And there's his beak. Once the beak has been attached, you can continue to loop up to this band here. So I'm going to go in, and come up. Same thing on the other side. This side's pretty tight. Remember, when you're going in this peg here, to go in the band that's holding the eyes as well. Don't pull on that band. Now go through here, grabbing the top 2 white bands. Remember, there's blue bands there too. We just want the white bands, bring them onto themselves. The same thing on this side. And then pull this white band through. Once you've done that, you can now go in here grab your blue bands, pull them up, grab these, pull them up, and then you're not going to go to the center, you're actually going to go through here, grab the top 2 blue, pull them to the right, and these to the left. And that's what you should have. Go through and check for all the teardrops. Okay, now you want to go ahead and place your holding rubber bands at the top so that you can remove it from the loom. So we're going to put one on each side. So go through the bottom peg, take one blue rubber band, and I'm going to pull that through, hook it back onto the hook, take the first loop around, put your finger through, and then I like to take my hook through the top to pull that band to the top and pull it tight. And you can hook it there if you want. Do the same thing on the other side. And hook it there. Create your slip knot. And now he is ready to come off the loom. So using your hook, you're going to start at the bottom and pull off the feet. And just be careful if you have any bands that get left behind that you don't keep pulling and then they snap. I also forgot to show you during the video how to attach his bow while looming. We can do it after the fact now. So you're going to take your bow with the little extra piece off the end and just take your hook, go straight through right in here, straight through his back, and grab that extra end piece and pull it through the back. Straighten it out if you want. And then you can either secure it with a C-clip, or if you want, just kind of keep twisting it through the back to kind of knot it into place. It's up to you whether or not you would like to clip it in or just secure it into place, and that'll give him his little bow tie. Okay, so once he is off the loom and he has his bow tie in place and his beak, you just take these bands here, go in from behind and pull them into the hat and hide them. And then you're also going to take 3 black rubber bands, and you're just going to take these and wrap them around the hat. Try not to stretch them out too much, but the beret has a black bands that run around it, and then just line it up there at the top of his head, and that will create that part as well. If you need to, just push the eyes out. You shouldn't need to use your hook because of the type of bands that we used on the looming process. And then you can just, you know, stretch out where you need to as far as the rest of his body. So there's Donald, and I hope you like him.